"I will do it later." Ben's favorite words. 5-year-old Ben loved playing with his toys, but whenever his mom or dad asked him to do something, Ben would always say, "I'll do it later." One day, after Ben returned from school, his mom said, "Ben, can you please finish your homework?" Ben shook his head. "I'll do it later, Mom." When he finished playing, his mom told him, "Ben, can you please clean up your toys?" Ben shook his head again. "I'll do it later, Mom." When his dad took care of the plants, his dad asked, "Ben, can you please help me water the plants?" "I'll do it later, Dad," Ben said. That day, Ben didn't do any of the things his mom or dad asked him to do. He just played with his toys in the living room. Soon enough, it was time for him to sleep. He went to his room and lay on the bed. "Ben, please brush your teeth and change your clothes before going to bed," his mom said. "I'll do it later, Mom," Ben replied. Soon, Ben fell asleep without brushing his teeth or changing his clothes. A soft wind blew through the room, and before he knew it, he was lifted up into the air. He floated through the window and into a magical world that looked just like the one he knew, except everything seemed a little different. As he looked around, he noticed himself in a messy room. There was a man sitting on a chair near a desk. His teeth were yellow with cavities. The floor was cluttered with scattered books, crumpled clothes, and toys strewn everywhere. There was a desk with papers and pencils everywhere, and clothes piled up on the bed. "Who are you?" Ben asked the person sitting on the chair, feeling both surprised and confused. "I'm Ben from the future, and this is the version of you who always procrastinated," the man on the chair said. Ben looked a little worried. "What happened to you? Why do you look so messy? You see," the older Ben continued, "this is what happens when you put things off. I never brushed my teeth before going to bed, and now my teeth are yellow, and they hurt. I always left my toys and books scattered around and never cleaned them. That's why my room is always messy. I never did my homework, and later I was left behind in my studies. I failed in all my classes. I kept procrastinating." Ben winced. "But I thought I can do things later." Future Ben replied, "Later never comes, and eventually putting things off becomes a habit." Ben's eyes widened with understanding as he looked at the mess around him. He thought of his own room, where things were sometimes scattered, and where he had been putting off little tasks his mom and dad asked him to do. "But how do I fix this? I don't want to be like you. How can I stop procrastinating?" Ben asked, feeling a bit overwhelmed. Future Ben smiled gently. "It's not too late, little one. You just have to start doing things right away. When you do something, don't wait until later. It may feel like a big task, but taking small steps and doing things as soon as you can makes everything easier." Ben nodded, taking the advice to heart. He looked around at the mess in his future self's room and felt determined to do things differently. "I can start now, right?" he asked eagerly. "Of course," Future Ben said. "Start with one small thing and keep going. It may feel difficult at first, but soon it will become a habit, and you'll feel proud of yourself." Suddenly, the room started to glow, and Ben felt a soft breeze again, as if he was being lifted up. He found himself back in his own room, safe and sound. Ben opened his eyes, and it was morning. Slowly, Ben realized it was a dream, but the dream felt so real, and Ben now understood what he needed to do. Ben jumped out of bed and immediately made his bed. He then walked to the bathroom and brushed his teeth without anyone reminding him. He cleaned up the toys he had left out the day before and did his homework. His mom smiled at him with pride. "Wow, Ben, you're being so helpful today. I'm really proud of you." He even joined his dad in the garden and helped him water the plants. His dad said, "Wow, Ben, you're being so helpful today. I'm really proud of you." Ben smiled and replied, "I'm learning not to wait. I'm going to do things right away, just like the future me taught me." From that day on, Ben never procrastinated again. He understood that when he did things right away, his life felt much easier and more fun. His room stayed clean, his toys were put away, and he did his homework on time. He didn't feel lazy and felt energized. Slowly, taking action became a habit. And whenever he thought about procrastinating, he remembered his dream and the wise advice of future Ben, always reminding himself, later never comes. When you start forming good habits, everything becomes easier. You feel in control, and your space feels better. You will feel proud. Moral of the story: act right away, and don't wait until later. Doing things now makes life easier, and you will feel motivated.